Tell me you're the least favorite child without telling me you're the least favorite child.
I never get invited to things, like, ever, whether it's a wedding or a dinner or family brunch. I usually find out the same day from my mother a couple hours before. On the day of my Fatiha, which is the religious ceremony for the exchanging of rings between a guy and a girl, my sister decided to book her engagement photo shoot the same day, even though she had already been engaged for 5 years, just so the attention can be on her and it can be taken away from me. I ended up doing everything that day for myself. I did the baking, I decorated the house, I set up, I did like the table setup. No one helped me, absolutely no one. None of my sisters, even though I have 3 of them. My birthday, what is that? Never been celebrated. The night before my sister's big day, her wedding, she got into this huge fight with me, and my mom took her side because she didn't want me or my fiance on the party bus, even though family and close friends were supposed to be on the party bus. I was the only one that was excluded because she wanted her husband's friends to be on the party bus instead. When I went through my divorce, none of my sisters asked me if I was okay, and none of them really asked what happened. None of them asked if I needed anything. It was automatically my fault because how can an Arab girl get divorced? It's automatically your fault, even if you got cheated on. But my absolute favorite one of them all is when 2 men in my family viciously beat me up. And then when the cops came, even though I was literally all bloody and bruised and they were 2 grown-ass men, the cops believed them because it was 2 against 1. I was in jail for 4 days, and then they tried to prosecute me, and no one in my family helped. We also used to have this group chat with one of my sisters and a bunch of our girlfriends. We would always make plans via this group chat. And whenever I was invited in the group chat, my sister would write blatantly in front of me, because I was in that group chat, why are you guys inviting her? Why are you guys inviting Mana? Why is Mana coming? I don't want her there. But I think this one tops them all. When I was 12 years old, I was having serious mental health issues because of the hijab that I was forced to wear, because I was getting extremely bullied by the kids and the teachers at my school. I used to get my hijab ripped off. I used to get made fun of all the time. So at 12 years old, I tried to commit sewer slide. I was in a coma for 4 days because I did not want to wear the hijab anymore. And when I woke up on the 4th day, my parents walked in and put the hijab back on my head.
So my mom wanted 10 kids, but she wanted all boys. So I ended up being her only girl. So she was pretty pissed with that. And any chance she got, she'd remind me that she never wanted a girl. So I've been hearing the same story since I was like 2-3 years old, pretty much as old as I could talk or like understand words. She would constantly drill it in my head that she never wanted a girl. My punishments were also more extreme than my brother's. So one time I spoke back to my guidance counselor, and because of that, they stopped me from going on my senior trip, and the senior trip was happening 5 months later. I was paying for college out of pocket, and I kind of wanted to drop out because I was dealing with a lot of health issues, and my parents told me that they didn't think that was the right choice for me, and basically if I dropped out, they were going to kick me out, so I wasn't going to have anywhere to live, so I decided to just finish college. Meanwhile, my brother decided to drop out, and they allowed him to, and they supported him in that. So when I finished college, they told me that I could get a graduation present, so I basically told them what I wanted. They kept shooting it down. They were like, oh, you don't need a car just because your brother has a car. You don't need this just because X, Y, and Z got that. Basically saying that I was trying to copy people with their gifts. So they told me that they were just going to get me braces as a graduation present. I had been begging for braces for a long ass time. So they told me they were going to get me braces. They ended up not paying for the braces. So I ended up having to pay for that myself. That was $4,000 that I really didn't have. But once you start the treatment, you can't just like end it. And I really needed the braces. So they didn't pay for my braces. Mind you, they paid for my brother's braces. They also paid for his college education as well. So he's not in debt, but I'm in like debt of like $30,000. So my living situation was really toxic, so I ended up finally moving out. So I moved out and I kind of couldn't afford it. So I was like, yo, let me ask my parents if I can move back in. They told me I could move back in. Then they ended up kicking me out because they wanted to move their friend in. So they kicked me out to move their friend in. Mind you, my brother is still living there, and my aunt, who's also like 60 something, she's older than my mom, is still living there. But they kicked me out to move their friend in. I have a million more stories, but I'm just going to end it here. And I just hope that if I ever have a child, I'm nothing like my mother.
So growing up, my parents only celebrated my sister's birthday. For some reason, they never celebrated mine. So her birthday falls in September, mine's June. And they would always celebrate her birthday, but never mine. And one day I brought it up to my parents, and I was like, how come you guys never celebrate my birthday? And of course, my mom, being the narcissist that she is, she tried to gaslight me, talking about, oh, we always celebrated your birthday. I don't know what you're talking about. And so I told her, no, we have so many pictures and videos of my sister's birthday, her quinceañera. I didn't even get a quinceañera. Like, she got cake, surprises, all of that, but never mind. And so she was just like, yes, we do. And so I told her, like, show me the pictures, let me see. And we have none. Sad part about it is, though, tomorrow is my birthday. I'm turning 30. There's gonna be nobody there. Just me by myself. And the thing is, like there would be years or, you know, several occasions where they would even forget about my birthday. And then later that night, I would receive a phone call from my mom or my sister, like, oh, hey, I forgot today was your birthday. But we never forgot my sister's or my mom or my dad's. For tomorrow, I actually took the initiative of, like, reaching out to my sister. My dad has to work. I asked my mom if she was doing something, but everybody said no, that they had plans. So it shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't have to be the one to reach out to people. Really makes you think.
So my parents had 5 kids, and then 4 years later had me. The family lore is that my mom had to pull the goalie in order to trick my dad into having me. 10 years after that, we go to SeaWorld in San Diego as a family. Right at the beginning of the day, I go into the bathroom, I come out, my family is gone. I wander the park literally all day, walked at the end of the day to the parking lot, find our car. My dad gets there and sees me and goes, hey, where you been? That was it, no worries. No attempt to find me during the day either. 20 years after that, my dad calls my other 2 brothers to go to a movie, doesn't even invite me. I mean, I lived in a different state, but on the way to the movie, he gets killed by a drunk driver, so joke's on him.
When I was in middle school, I did cheer. All the girls had a cell phone except for me. Anytime I had a game, my parents would just drop me off and pick me up. They would never stay. A few years later, my sister becomes a cheerleader. She got a phone immediately, an iPhone. I had to go with my parents to every single game. Almost every single game that she had. When I was in elementary school, my family wanted to go to Dollywood, and they left me. They took my 3 siblings and left me. When my parents found out that I was swearing by going through my Facebook messages, I was grounded for a year. My 2 brothers, meanwhile, were throwing parties where they were gone, literally getting the cops called on them for it, smoking a lot of weed, even in the house sometimes, sneaking out. And maybe they were grounded, but not for that long. One time I was over at my aunt's, and I remember just crying to her about how my parents were treating me, and she actually admitted that she does not understand why they treat me the way that they do, and like she apologized profusely and tried to comfort me. But how do you comfort a child that feels so unwanted by their parents? By the time my brothers were old enough and moved out of the house and it was just me and my sister, I somehow became the housemaid, and I was expected to do all of the house chores. My sister was like never given chores, and it got to the point where even she admitted like she didn't understand why it was all on me and never on her. And one time my dad grounded me for like 6 months because I didn't unload the dishwasher in a timely enough manner, like for his liking. I could go on and on, but I've already been talking for too long.
So I'm pretty sure that most parents are pretty supportive over their children, especially when they're doing sports and wanting to come to all their sports events and things like that. Yeah, well, my mom never came to any of my sports events, and I did cheerleading and track. She was never there for any of that. There was no good job when I won, hugs or kisses. even I didn't really hear I love you as much growing up. But my little sister, she was there for everything that she did for color guard, anything that she needed, she was there for her. Always gave her hugs, kisses, told her she loved her, would actually go out there and buy special things for her and then purposely give them to her in front of me. And I'd be like, where's mine? And she'd be like, well, you weren't there, or I didn't get you anything, and just walk away. So pretty sure I was not the favorite, at least.